Oh, I haven't muted my splash screen. Hello, hi, I'm here. Yeah, I redid some of the OBS backend recently, and I must have not have have muted the splash screen, so you could probably hear me rummaging around then. Hi, welcome to another Lyrebird Edits. Good to see you, Herringbone. Both here and in Discord. Hmm. Except this is a little too high, isn't it? Yeah. That's better. Very good. Okay, great. Nice. Whew. Well, on the back of what we were discussing on, when was it? It was Thursday when I was playing Hollow Knight. Outright suggested that we might like to do some sort of collaborative fiction writing exercise, and I've seen this done on Twitch before, and it was kind of fun. So I'm going to appropriate it from other people's channels, and we'll see how it runs with what we're going to be doing here. I don't think anyone owns an explicit patent on collaborative fiction writing, but I mean, I've done things like this in the past too, so it's not an entirely new thing. Tell me about your weekend, Herringbone. What have you been up to? I was up in the northern beaches of Sydney. It was really nice. It was great weather. Really good day. What's your next performance coming up? Is that another play? Oh, Rocky Horror, nice. I think you may have mentioned that quite a few times in Discord, right? I didn't realize it was coming up so soon. That's cool. So it's actually sort of coming to fruition. Excuse me one moment. What would I do? Before I start, let me go get my charger for my phone. It is here all along. I'm kind of wearing this like mishmash of clothes I found at the bottom of my suitcase that I didn't wear up to the beach for the last couple of days worth of holiday. So that's why I'm wearing like a zebra blue shirt. So it's like a blue shirt with a zebra decal and these bright yellow pants. I didn't wear this outside. Maybe I should have. Maybe I can start like a Lyrebirds fashion channel. While you ponder that horrifying thought, I'm gonna plug my phone in. Nice. Very good. Hello, TLACC. What are you doing? Did you get to see my yellow pants? Or were you not lucky enough? I was in the back of my room a second ago searching for a cable that ended up being right next to my knee. What if I make 100 like pure honey lozenges? Hmm. Only if it's Manuka honey. I know that they have like Manuka honey lozenges, but they also may put other stuff in it too that's not just honey. Um, Maybe someone's made like a lozenge that's just all honey. You need something to sort of crystallize it a bit, so it couldn't be 100% pure honey. Yeah, no, that's the material thing in me rearing its ugly head. We're not here to be materialists. We're not scientists in this precious hour and a half to 2 hours that we have together. We're full blown artisans of non-subjective, sorry, non-objective art. Oh dear. Oh dear. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your flu over on Discord. I hope you're feeling good in a short time. It's no fun when you just got like sort of lame entry level flu. Yeah, so for tonight we're gonna I think we can start talking about what it is that we're gonna be writing tonight and what kind of direction we want to take, or what sorts of things we want to start with. I was thinking a couple of things, because this idea came from a time when we were playing Hollow Knight the other night. We could write a story about insects. We could write a story about that amulet that has a level of sentience to it and beheads people as it wants to sort of gain power from them. So people put it on thinking that they'll gain power from it, but then the amulet decapitates them and they go off. That's a bit morbid. I probably don't want too much morbid tonight. But we could take like a sort of element like that and play with it in a friendlier way. Or we could talk about a lame entry level flu. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Because I'm very lazy tonight. Very lazy. I'm talking with a couple of people from over Reddit about some stories that they might like to send to me soon. But I think that might probably come for next week instead. So, without a plan B, here I am. Otherwise, if nothing interesting comes through, then we can just start the ball rolling with something and go from there. Oh, this isn't updating. That's weird. Let me see if I can update, please. I swear people are. There we go. Something went wrong. Oh. Yeah. Bye bye chat. Hello chat. What's going on there? Weird. Oh, and Herring was also saying Rocky Horror around mid-March. Nice, 1 month to go. But I saw Pepe Meltdown and wonder if it made 100%. That's why I was thinking delay test. We got a little jewelers of horrors. And you guys want the morbid stories. 6-part generation spanning. This is herringbone. I'm thinking maybe we can do a 6-part generation spanning novel starting off in rural Spain. Not a bad idea. No, I reckon we can work with that. Why don't I just pull up something that we had prepared a bit earlier. Where was it? It was don't know if this would be appropriate, but maybe we can do I have a copy of your story? I'm sure I do, but where is it? I think it must be over in one of the Discord links you sent to me. That's true. If I actually need to start writing if I want to be seen to be writing a story. Hello 667. What we're doing right now is actually sort of brainstorming a couple of ideas. So usually if I do this, I come in with my own idea, but I kind of wanted to do a bit of improv, I suppose. What are the things you like about Australia? The beaches are nice, and some of the things that can eat you choose not to eat you. There was a huge spider in our car as we were going up to the beach that wasn't particularly pleasant. There was a big spider in the car as well, actually. So we've got a monster in a desert town. Outrider SG, it's your story. You can't just suggest your own stories to me. Why don't yeah, it was just terrifying. So that's one of Herring's suggestions. We can give it an Australiana theme. I'll try to sort of not keep it particularly morbid. A boy wizard with a lightning bolt scar. What about a girl wizard with a triangular shaped scar? Everyone crawling across the bonnet. Oof. Oh, I like that. Reports of missing people in the city on the rise. Nice. I like that. Spider people on a beach. We can kind of make this slightly beach themed. We can incorporate a spider into it, maybe. Okay, I've kind of got something brewing. So there's like a missing persons. You could have, I suppose it could be like an investigator, or without it becoming like a noir, what we can maybe have a story about is someone trying to track down a lost relative. A cat who brings recipes for pasta sauces to a house every night. Huh. How bizarre. You find the missing people in your basement and you don't know how they got there. Ugh. Damn, this is morbid. I kind of like the missing persons at the beach idea. It is a little spooky. Okay, well maybe we can start with something like that. And then as we go deeper in, we can sort of break off at specific points and see where the story might want to go. Oh no, they aren't dead. They're just alive. Oh my god. That sounds like it sort of fit a weird. Well, you can take this kind of one of two ways. It could be like a weird sort of humor story, but they're just there explicitly doing things, or you could have like facets of their spirits appearing in this person's basement, and the detective has to interact with them in order to find out where they are in a physical sense. Strange signal interference on mobile devices linked to the timing on the missing persons reports. Linked to the timing on the missing persons reports. Okay, I think I'll keep it sort of serious, and we'll go with this sort of missing persons thing in a seaside setting. Dead. I might skip over 667's suggestion for the moment. Okay, good. Why don't we start there? Oh, that's a text. You know what? Can't be bothered to figure out how to unedit this. Bam. New document. There might be like a sort of plain format. I could have just done that. No, that's paint format. Sometimes meant to give aware. How do you feel about second person? Do you wanna try like a little bit of second person, or maybe we can just sort of keep it a bit plain. I don't think second person might be a bit too complicated. What about? No, this is the concept I want to embody, but not the actual writing itself. So if you wanted to do something like physicality, This isn't second person, this is just a hypothetical you. Existence. Let's go to the grains. Excuse me for not spelling particularly well. And before I go any further, this is going somewhere. Let me flesh this out in a moment. Sick. I'm gonna overrule that. No, actually, I agree. I'm gonna try something a bit different with this, not second person story. I'm gonna make this a first person story, but I'm gonna make the narrator dip into second person very occasionally to, I suppose, make more of a connection with the reader. But I'll keep my finger on the pulse about this. I'm gonna dial it back. Oh, interesting. Okay, good. That's an interesting sort of perception that you had. This is going somewhere because... Hmm. Actually, that's not true at all. Couple of things missing here in terms of nighttime and grounding. This is a really fluffy, esoteric piece, but it's interesting to sort of see what comes out when I think about something. Um, and I think one thing that would help me also think well is just one's missing. This one. Okay, what have I done here? I've vomited words everywhere. Before I go on, I want to fix up a few things. There are a couple of crucial elements here of this story that I haven't got right, and one is I haven't grounded this really sort of wanky first paragraph, and it's very masturbatory, but um, it lacks a real sense of peace within itself. It's the kind of thing that like um it has a kind of appeal to that wankery. I don't particularly like it. It takes too long to actually get to any sort of particular grounded notion of what it is that we're doing here. Some stories do this particularly well, and you kind of have to suspend that nagging voice in your head that's like, get to the point, get to the point, get to the point. Um, and yet here I am actually just doing it off the top of my head. So let's read through it and see if we can make it a bit tighter and help the reader suspend themselves a bit more. Then we can go on. I can get some more guidance from you guys about where to go from here. Ooh, saucy sapphic love, that's nice. The whale-bearing one. Oh yeah, gosh. It does remind me a little bit of the whale-bearing one. I wasn't thinking about that one though. Right, so the detour to stand as a metaphor to bring back shortly. That's exactly what I'm going for. Like, this stuff here only works if it has like a grounding, and I think I'm sort of like 60% there with it. Let's see if we can make it a bit stronger. If you look closely at the sands, bend down at the knees, and peer, but should be not peat, into the fine grains of powder down existence, you begin to see the patterns unfold. So this is a bit of a misdirection because I can see like definitely why Outrider was thinking it was at the molecular level. If you look down at the sands bend, the matter of powder down existence, you begin to see the patterns unfold, kaleidoscopic and raw. This may help keep it at a surface level, I don't know. Kaleidoscopic and raw with a wash of sea and froth. As little pieces of sand and shell fall together into new shapes. Stay long enough. Take a step back. Stay long enough and you begin to see something. Follow it with your finger. Those are lines made by tiny creatures. Things so small that you... Okay, here. So things... Things at home with the chaos of... They twist, they... They twist, they reform into straight lines, so... I don't really reuse lines. So if they twist, they... come together. They break away and some... I mean, if I had to guess, crabs. If I wanted to trick myself, I've relayed a memory I had one time of when we were together, long ago. You bit down at my knees, found those same patterns, and told me blue bottle lines in that chirpy voice. And the chirpy voice of yours. Blue bottles can't walk, you moron. They're brainless jellyfish. No motion along the shoreline, no lines up and down, just molecular plastic bags floating in the ocean winds. It's easy to tell when something is merely floating across the waters or carried along by the current. The lines they make tell all. I don't remember writing that. This one here, running parallel to the next. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, up here, if you look closely at the sands, This sets up the scene slightly better with this, which implies that it's nighttime. Why am I writing this? Where are we going with this? If I'm trying to link what's at the front here with what at the back, is it the case that this is actually a strong piece of writing? I'd argue not. I'd argue that we could actually just get rid of it. This is speaking about. Interesting. I never heard of that. That might be kind of cool though. She's the wings of a gnat. Right. That's interesting. That fixes it. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad it fixes it. So this isn't a unique way to start a story. It's quite a modern way of writing. You start off with a bit of wankery, and then your reader's thinking, okay, where are we going? And then you kind of hit them with like, but the metaphor is actually related to the character's internal struggle. Isn't that clever? And yeah, like I'm being a bit sort of sarcastic with this because I think it's sort of it can be an effective way to write a story, but I'm not happy with what I've done. So I'm trying to make future me less critical about my past self. But if we do want to write a story like this, how do you make it stronger? It's about little things like this. It's giving your reader enough breathing room to actually imagine your character as you're being a wanker and describing the external metaphor. If you do this without grounding the existence of your characters within your metaphor, it comes across as a bit sort of abstract. The more abstract you make it, the harder a time you'll have in keeping your reader from disengaging with the story. I was going to say thinking that you're a wanker, but we're well beyond that. This is more about the engagement between the reader and the story, and I feel like I'm doing not a great job. So in subsequent edits, what I do is I'd actually consider whether or not this is even worthwhile. I might even delete it. And then find a new way to reintroduce this information. Huh. That's cool. Okay, right. In terms of it, like it's a real event. It's sandy and it's nigh. Oh, it's night. Yes, more or less. But it's also talking about this as well. You know what? I'm gonna delete this. Boop. I tried to be clever and introduce a memory from the character's past into the present, overlay it, and then push it meaning with something else. Let's have a read of this. I think it may be stronger. This mark here, for instance, running parallel to the next. 2 lanes, sisters, until... Sisters, 2 lanes. Two lanes in unison, right up until the point, just here where my finger is, where one begins to veer off and arc into the ocean, careening to the folds of froth until I stand up and brush the sand from my trousers before reaching into my pocket. Out comes the phone, and the screen comes up with darkness. It takes a moment to find the case file. This one here running parallel to the next. This one here, together sisters, is weird because the subject of a sentence is the photo. This is the object describing the fact that the sisters are together. This is a real gamble. It could work or it could bomb out, and I don't have enough scope on determining whether or not that's appropriate at this point. It takes a moment to find the case file. This one here, together, sisters. See, I don't think it works, but maybe we can clean it up now, actually, instead of leaving it. Oh, comes the phone. There you go, fixed. Time to find out where people vanish to. But can't think of a way to tie it in yet. So, in terms of trying to keep this interactive, let's have a think about where we might want to go from here. We've got this sort of setup where this person is, I suppose I'm trying to make it a bit obvious that they're a detective. So, let me read chat first also. I think someone just popped in. Alexander Gogorovich, hello. Hi. How are you doing this fine evening? We're doing a bit of, I guess you'd call it interactive writing, although I haven't made it too interactive so far. But this is, I guess, the point where I'm stopping for a little and going to get some direction from the lovely people in chat. And then we'll see where we go with this story. What I'm styling this story as is perhaps not a detective, but a concerned member of the extended family who's trying, I suppose, in their copious amounts of free time to track down like a missing relative. So I suppose this is like a missing persons story. And it's set at a beach, and I wanted to set up the front of it with this idea of you have a bit of an abstract idea, which then feeds into the situation in which this detective finds themselves. And this is all off the top of my head, so in addition to taking prompts from people and looking at what's what. So the really nice thing about stuff like this is that I have no attachment to it either. It's all a bit raw and choppy, which makes it exciting too, because it means you can just throw in curveballs or think of new things that you may not usually do, I think. I never considered trying to write a play, but maybe I should. Give it a go, try something new. I have to have a think about it. Right, in this case, he or she notices details others might miss, giving off detective vibes, even before the case file comes into play. Okay, that's good. I didn't intend that, but now that you mention it, I know exactly what you mean about like discerning details in the sand. Hopefully, without it coming across as like a bit of a savant kind of thing. I don't think I want to embrace that in the story, but There you go. So I think Outrider's hit the nail on the head here. The key is that observations in the first paragraph say something about the character. I think that's very a very good point that I want to copy paste into the comment section here, but I can't copy this for whatever reason. Maybe I can. Yep, I can. So if you look closely at the sands, I'll make a comment here. Boop. There, this is Outrider. That's exactly what I'm going for. The actual line-by-line writing is sort of neither here nor there. It's important that it's a placeholder, however. So where do we go from here? What are we doing? No, the hillbilly savant is the focus of the town. Oh. Oh, it's the, Oh, it's actually like part of the podcast itself. That's interesting. That's really weird, actually. Put a link to this in the Discord. I'd like to see it. Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Good. And that would also keep this line a bit open as well. Originally, I thought that he might want to go and try and find like one of the girls in the photograph, and he was going to go meet her then. But I wonder if we can't sort of keep it a bit more environmental. Okay. The Hewley's found as the focus of the town. I quite like that. Ah, what if they are both missing, and for some reason he is only seeking out one? That's a really interesting idea. That's really juicy. I agree with Outrider's little comment there. Um, I'm gonna pop off for a tick and just have a tiny break. But I want to also have a think about why that situation would be the case. Is it a motive, like a selfish motive, or um, was one found and the other wasn't, or is one really important and the other one isn't? Like, in what circumstance can we make this work? Because that's a really interesting idea. So while I'm away, try not to fear too much. um, but maybe just have a think about what kind of circumstance this could originate in. Yeah. Okay, back in a tick. Yeah, using the like a personal connection between his or her ex, the MC. I've got a twist on that. I'd like to flesh out. Or maybe it's my idea that I'm superimposing over yours. Um, a few sessions. Yeah, interesting. Like a sort of personal drive, an obsession, an unearned affection. Hmm. It's almost sort of stalkerish. I'd like to introduce a proposal to this committee. Um, One thing that I thought of when I was just having a break then was a decent way for girls to be separated out. There are two sisters here, and I think that they're children. One is not important of a story and not the focus of the investigation. I haven't strictly made it clear what this investigation is. It sort of has an aura of authenticity to it and authority, but that may not be the case. It may just be a personal investigation. The the circumstances under which, say, two girls would go missing and only one of them would be worthwhile trying to find is very interesting. I'm trying to think of a way for that to happen. Would, I think, require a couple of things. First, this probably isn't an official investigation. Second, what makes this girl special enough that someone would go and actively seek her out? One idea that I had was that she, if we wanted to get a bit sort of sci-fi about this, she is like a pattern that keeps re-emerging over time. And what this person's doing, this person here, the main character, is that he's tracking down this pattern in whatever reincarnation that it takes, like whatever form it takes, which would imply that she's, could be a couple of things. I want to explain this idea a bit further. Um, Let me find something. Hang on. Okay, well, here's a Reddit article about this, and without commenting on the scientific veracity of such a statement, um, there's this idea that the vast majority of atoms in our body are constantly shuffled out of existence, well, like we're we're a scaffold, and what makes us us is constantly being shuffled in and out from different atomic sources. And so I've wanted to use this idea in a story for a while, and it's never come up. But I wonder if this girl, the one in the photo, is is atomically speaking another person that this main character is trying to track down, with the implication being that like her sort of essence or spirit, or his essence or spirit, it doesn't matter, but it's kind of um like an animation in the molecular wind that is this character, and wherever the atoms go, so too this character goes, and it's just reformed in the image of this girl. So he's tracking her down. It may even be the case that the other girl is a missing girl, and that the two of them disappeared at the same time. But yeah, plotting on the fly is difficult, but maybe that's something that we can try and incorporate in. This also raises implications of are the atoms in the brain replaced every year or every 7 years or however many years, and does that mean we even exist in a long-term sense? If I am physically not the same thing that I was X number of years ago, then what am I? Am I just a pattern that's being brought up over and over again? Two things we need to establish, though, to make that really odd idea back into a a reality and trying to sort of conform it to this notion here. I like TTLACC's, he mentioned spiders before, I think. Um, there's a bus outside. Well, someone mentioned spiders, spooky spiders, and I wonder if we can, yeah. Oh, is this I wonder if that idea is in Flames too. I haven't read any more of Flames since I bought it, so I'm still only very, very short way of the way through. Yeah, is it actually part of, um, if that's part of a story, I'd be very impressed. Because it means that I need a new idea. So, slow and steady, Herringbone, but I'll need to make more of a concerted effort to actually sit down and read it. I brought it with me to the beach, but I didn't end up opening it up. Hmm. His personal experiences helped him write the part of his story. Oh, interesting. I was a baby was being born. Hey, congratulations, baby. Yeah, watching a live C-section is kind of cool. Um, yeah, I have to really make an effort to read Flames. A cosmic string that binds people. Poetic. So let's try and condense this down to what we're talking about here. Um, I'm gonna repeat this because I'm a huge wanker and I like repeating lines. What I'm trying to convey here is something that's like when you see something and you have an intuitive sense that it's wrong, like an uncanny valley sort of gut reaction where you think, oh, and that's a very sort of soft and subtle, oh, with a light disgust almost. And I'm trying to think of a very condensed way of saying that. Like, in fact, if we can condense it to 2 words, that'd be ideal. Like, something like half-finished taxidermy. I don't want to keep that, but I want to think about what I want to convey within that sort of image. The girl on the right isn't right, she isn't whole. It may take a moment to register the difference between the sisters, or to piece together why you get that feeling in chest when you look at her. Unsettled, like half-finished taxidermy, like standing on the ocean's fingertips at twilight, wondering how the chaos ends. This is a hypothetical you. So this is the kind of second person that I wanted to try and dabble into. It's like a sort of... It's not a you character, it's a you as an abstract viewer of the story. But without it being a real connection. I'm not used to... The cakey, cheesy, screamy, bloody miracle of birth. No, I want red velvet. Oh my god, that's fantastic. That's actually like a perfect visual description of this. In a weird way, like I'm imagining looking at a C-section. Huh. Herring, it's just like a like you said that this was live, right? Where have I seen a C-section before? I've seen one before. I think it was on a medical documentary or something. I'm a C-section baby, so it was interesting to see how I was born. Quickly is the answer. Did like if you blink it, you might miss it. So Harry, how long did it take between like the first incision to cakey baby being born? Hey, there you go. C-section babies rise up. We are the superior style of human. The guy who killed Macbeth? C-section baby. Yep, that's right. So really, the world owes us a lot for having killed Macbeth. 5 minutes or less. That's pretty quick, isn't it? The one that I saw was more or less like out, part, fish around, up it comes. And if only it was that simple all the time. Cool. Anyway, no spoilers. Sorry guys, spoiler warning for one of the most read books of... It's not even a book, it's a play. Mr. Shakespeare. So, like an unfinished portrait, her eyes addressing the universe beyond you. Nice. What about we take that and we tweak it a little. She is an unfinished portrait. How can I paste without plagiarism? She is an unfinished portrait, her eyes addressing the universe beyond you. So she can see... was trying to sort of match the picture I have of her in my head with her age. The trouble with trying to sort of squeeze this sciencey idea down into a story is that there's no clean way of, in a one-shot sense, imparting this really big idea unless you pay very careful attention to how you construct this metaphor. It's a metaphor about patterns forming in the ocean and how I suppose the different lines take different shapes, and what that means is I guess everything's kind of messy and chaotic. Um, she is 9, which makes sense. That's what she looks like. She is 2. That's how long the atoms have been in her body, and she is as old as the Earth itself because atoms don't come from anywhere. They come from stars, but all the mass that exists has existed for that long. So I need to get my science facts right, actually. Whether all matter that currently exists has existed since. I guess it depends on the fusion in the sun, because new matter is constantly being generated from the energy. It's the energy that persists. Although matter can neither be created nor destroyed. I don't know. Physics isn't my strong suit. Molecular sciences, 100%. But the perpetuation of matter and thermodynamics is less so. But still, like, it doesn't strictly matter for the purposes of this stream either, and it's not a science stream. It's just a sciencey concept that we're pushing into the story. I didn't know about herringbone. That's pretty cool. I've heard that babies listen to their mother's voice and music in the womb. Do they know their father's voice? That's pretty neat. I'm gonna put this in brackets because this is the implication that I want to give, but right now I just want to push forward with the story. So I guess this is like a drafting way of allowing me to come back later and go, oh yeah, this is what I wanted to convey. I'll dress it up with words. My sense of the story is that this man is searching for someone that he once knew, whose body, I suppose, has been reshuffled and moved on into other bodies, into other lives. And didn't end with this girl, but this is where his trail ends, and so he'll pick up the trail on this girl, find that the body has moved onto someone else, and who knows, maybe they'll eventually meet each other. But I do want to sort of try and keep this as grounded as possible, with an idea this weird, and this kind of abstract. I think it's important to keep it as sort of smooth as possible, without it becoming just all over the place. Hmm. But less likely. Yeah. That's interesting. I suppose they can hear it, so it makes sense for them to have a connection to it. 500 words for 459. I reckon I'll do a little more, but I'm not sure how much we can sort of milk from this without having to actually stop and drag it a bit further. My thinking is that what this man will do is then maybe meet someone who's on the beachfront. Like, beachfronts have these stores that are open, I think, not all that late, so I don't know how he's going to meet someone there. But he could talk with them, chat with them. Hmm. But to be honest, I'm kind of at a dead end with this. And it's all just ideas throwing around anyway. The very least, what I hope I can convey is like, it was atomic wash. What I hope I can convey is that just to start off a story like this is a gamble. Sometimes it's not a very good one, and other times you shouldn't feel bad if you don't get it in the first hit. Even this little bit of time that we spent together working through the details of this kind of opener, I've already had a think to myself about ways to improve it, with the introduction of a hook that I've repeated later down, and how everything starts to fit together thematically, what that theme is, how we can push it out into the characters. I also know where it's failing and where it's not being particularly strong in its grounding of the events, in its characterization. There are lots of weak points to this opener. So I guess if nothing else, this is a bit of an exercise in proving once more the idea that your story doesn't come out fully formed the first time you write it. Even if you have a series of picture events in your head that you try and string together with words, sometimes you'll just start writing and realize that those pictures don't mesh together very well, and you have to sort of find a way to smoothly tie everything together. And to be honest, the best way to work through that is to edit the story. It's to write it down, it's to see if it works, and just go through it again and refine it, and rewrite it and refine it. Rewriting doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go through and, like on a blank document, and type up new words. Sometimes it could be as simple as reading a paragraph and going, I hate everything, but I want to keep this little thing here, so everything except for that one thing. So then you work around it, or you take the whole thing as a skeleton and reconfigure some of the words there. So yeah. And then I play Hollow Knight. I'm actually quite tired. I'd love to stay and play, but I had everything. Yay! Well, that's good because it means it means that your baseline's very low, and so if anything ever brings you joy, it's a real deviation, and therefore it's quite special. Oh, oh, now I'm sad. What was the plot of this story? That was a good question. I think it's about a man who is not an official detective, but maybe someone who's using his abilities to track people down to follow the spirit of this person that he is connected to as it's moving between bodies. in like an atomic sense. So it's a bit of like a detective story with a sci-fi thing thrown in. I don't know how we got here. Um, Everyone's tired tonight. Herringbone, are you tired? TTLACC, please tell me you're tired. Then we can all be tired together. Blade Runner 2 2049. That didn't, Wait. Did I just plagiarize Blade Runner 2049? Tiny bit? I suppose that in a different sense. I need to watch that movie again. I've forgotten really what it's about. I just remember the vibe of it. Yeah, I did. But I've watched it when? It wasn't last year it came out, was it? Blade Runner 2049. 2017, right? Yeah, 17. I'm always tired. Good. Yeah, please do. Please do. Because I've seen it before. And this might sort of help us piece together where I sort of found parts of this idea from. It was good, yeah. I really like 2049. Yes. Apologies, this wasn't one of my best writing moments. I guess if anything else, you can take this as kind of like a meta lesson for how a writing exercise can develop. And like I kind of wanted it to sort of be a bit more. Yeah, I'll write a couple of paragraphs, so it'd be really solid. And I'd be like, hey, where do we go next? But it just didn't turn into that sort of story. I think I wasn't really in the right frame of mind for it. So my apologies, guys. I sort of led you down the garden path there. Hmm. In that case, why don't we move discussion over to Discord and we can keep chatting there. A Dreamcatcher girl gives her memories to the replicants, and the MC goes on a crazy adventure because he wants to figure out the memory. Right, he discovered the androids could give birth. No. Hmm. I appreciate the blue bottles too. Yeah, I didn't get stung by one, which is lucky. I never been stung by one actually. Have you? Have you been stung by one? Right, that's right. The dream creator fabricates this memory. She was related to the. That's right. I remember that. That's a pretty trippy thing, isn't it? So it has a sort of similar aspect of following different people around through different iterations of their lives, or retroactively coming through in a memory sense. Yeah, I think it has some similarities, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, why don't we wrap up? Um, I think I can maybe put this story to rest for now. Thank you for bearing with me. The AI was dropped dead. I don't remember the AI. The big blue one that was advertising something, and she ends up talking to the main character. I think that was one anyway. Hmm. Regardless, thank you for joining me. We'll we'll reconvene. We might try this again another night. But I think what I'll do in the future, if I do like an interactive writing thing, is over Discord we'll chat about it before and come up with like a theme and a setting, and then I can. Actually, we can even write the first paragraph together or something, and then I can continue it on, and we can do something like that. That might be kind of fun. But I think we perhaps need a bit more structure, especially for me in my wandery mind with all this masturbatory opening stuff. Good stuff. Thank you for joining me, guys. we'll do it again in the future. And I'll be doing some Hollow Knight this week as well, so I'll let you know when I'm going to be doing more of that. But until then, have you explored the nature of Australia? I think you mentioned something about that in earlier chat as well. Um, through writing? Actually, no. Um, it's something that I should do more of, I think, because we've got a lot of natural beauty in the country. But in terms of like me being physically adventurous, yeah, I've been around the country a bit. Um, done lots of bushwalking. I've been to the Great Barrier Reef. Um, spent some time outdoors. Yeah, lots of long road trips, which I guess is accessing a different kind of out of the environment. Yeah, I do like hiking. We've got these mountains quite close to Sydney called the Blue Mountains, and they're blue because they release like this sort of cloud of eucalyptus oil. Um, so if you sort of look at it from afar, when the sun comes in, it sort of radiates this weird color. It's not very noticeable, but like when you're there and you look around at the colors, you're like, oh yeah, blue mountains. And they're beautiful. They're not actually like world standard mountains. They're like 1,000 meters above sea level, which is impressive for Australians. We're like, ooh, very tall. But in terms of actual mountains, they're very small. Um, so beautiful though. Really nice environment. So if you're ever here in Australia, definitely go and see the Blue Mountains. They're really special. Now, how does the landscape really make you feel? How does it really make me feel? Hmm. I suppose a lot of it's quite isolated in a sense. Like when you go hiking through those environments, you feel as though there's not a lot of people around you. You're quite far away from other places, but calm too. I think it's serenity as well, which is really nice. Yeah. Anyway, why don't we why don't we wrap up there? Why don't we wrap up there? Come on, words. Thanks for joining me tonight, guys. We'll catch you on the next stream.